Hello brew tubers who join me in the brew shed for another brew day. How exciting. It is the first brew day I've actually done in a fair while. The last two beers I made were both lagers, the Oktoberfest and the German Pilsner. So they were taking up these fermenter space for a fair few weeks, obviously because they were lagering and obviously the extended fermentation period and all that bollocks. So yes, haven't been able to brew for a while, but correcting that today by brewing an autumnal red ale, or Watford Red as I might call it. So it's obviously the first time I've tried this particular recipe, so no idea how it's going to turn out, but it's basically Maris Otter, crystal, torrefied wheat and roasted barley, and then obviously fuggles. These are the hops I grew this year, 2020 crop. So yes, quite interested to see how it turns out. 4.1% I think is the expected ABV once it's all done. The IBUs and bitterness levels I'm quite unsure about, because obviously I don't know the alpha acids of this hop, so I've gone low in the hope that it should be alright. So the idea is, if you you can always add bitterness with hop extract or whatever else it might be, you can't take it away. So yes, I think that's probably the best way to go. But yes, mashing in at 68 degrees Celsius, try and make it quite a sweet, fruity beer. Yeah, I'm quite excited about this one, see how it goes. So it might be absolute cack, it might be alright, I might have got it bang on first time, which is very rare, so yeah, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Who knows what we'll get at the end of it. So I'll show you the mash, and also I'll have to apologise in advance, as the magnetic pump thing, the recirculation pump, is on its last legs. Some sort of bearing or something inside it's gone, and it sounds absolutely dreadful. So I will be evacuating the shed whilst it's running because it's too noisy to put up with. But anyway, that's another story. I'll keep using it until it fails, then I'll get another. But yeah, we'll see. Okay then, I'll show you the mash, and yeah, off we go. So that is the start of the mash. I will put the top plate on in a moment, and yes, leave that for 90 minutes. And just getting on with the sparge. Try and get in. First hop addition weighed out, 30 grams of puddles. It's a 60-minute boil from when I put the hops in, but I'm also obviously having a little bit of time for hop break. So start of the 1 hour boil, in goes 30 grams of Watford picked fuggle hops. So just go pick them in there like that. Very nice too. So next hop addition in half hour. So it's the second 30-minute hop addition. In goes another 30 grams of homegrown fuggle. Beautiful, beautiful, blooming beautiful. 15-minute additions, another 30 grams of homegrown fuggles. How exciting. All in there. And I also put the chiller in as well, just so that's nice and sanitised. When it comes to cooling down this fine ale, I hope it's going to be fine ale anyway. Flying around in the garden. There's one there, and another one there. I do like watching the bats. End of the boil. In goes 10 grams of Fuggles. And a good stir required as well, I think. Lovely job. I'll stir this for a few minutes and then I will start the recirculation, cool it down and prepare the fermenters. Lovely job. And just cooling it down. So that is the end of brew day. Yes. Yeah, okay brew day. I did have a problem towards the end where the recirculation pipe decided to make a bid for freedom. So I had a little bit of wort sprayed across the floor, quickly shut the tap off and switched the pump off. So I didn't lose as much as I could have done, but again, a bit annoying, added to the cleaning up process and all that rubbish. So yeah. Gravity was as well, was a little bit down on what I was expecting. So 1.041 was the expected starting gravity. I got 1.040, so a little bit down, but it should end up as a 4% beer, which is pretty much what I was aiming for anyway. So I just got to hope that the yeast, which is SO4, attenuates well and converts to a good final gravity. I think the final gravity is supposed to be 1.010 when it gets there. So fingers crossed it gets down that far. Colour might be more of a brown ale than a red ale. Just didn't seem to have much of a red hue to it at all. Sort of more like an amber brown colour. I think some work on the grist might need to be done if I rebrew it or when I rebrew it. Perhaps cut down on the roasted barley and crystal malt, make some adjustments there. Yeah, it just didn't give me the colour I was wanting. Just didn't seem to have a red colour. Although, in saying that, obviously, we won't really know until it's finished fermenting and it's obviously carved up in a glass. It could look perfect in a glass, but at this early stage, not so appealing. It reminds me of that 1888 Tennant's lager beer I made, because it used lots of was it flaked rice, I think it was. Looked like grey wallpaper paste whilst brewing it, but it cleared and made a lovely, crisp, clean, clear-looking lager. So yes, a bit too early to say at the moment, but I think some work might be needed to be done on the grist. And also you've got to see how these hops do as well. Being homegrown, hand-picked hops, no idea what the alpha are. Might be too bitter, might not be bitter enough. Might have had it spot on, so we'll see. So it's very much everything's going to be revealed with the first pint sort of thing. So yeah, SO4 to ferment with, so see how that does. And yeah, I shall report back on what it's like. Drinking a wee little beer at the moment. Some sort of Nipa from Lost and Found Brewery. I don't know where they are. So yes, yeah, that's me done. Might do a little bit of tidying up tomorrow. Most of it's done. It's just I think I've actually forgotten to clean the hot spider out. Actually, thinking about it now. But yeah, a few little bits just to be finished off. So the actual fermenter's clean, and the pump. So yeah, just little bits and bobs here and there. So yeah, tidying up tomorrow. I was considering doing Old London Porter, but may leave that to the weekend following. I want to do 2 4.5 gallon pins to sell to bottle shops for that. Or might just do one pin and put the rest on keg. I'll have to make my mind up. Speaking of kegs, I am trying to move into keg conditioning and then filling up bottles from keg. I've had a lot of problems recently with bottle conditioning. The strawberries and cream one, for example, quite lively. Wasn't a gusher, but it you have to be careful pouring it because it kicked up the stuff from the bottom after the first pour, sort of thing. So if you didn't get it all in the glass first time, you would end up with a load of crap in the beer. The Old London Porter again, previous batch. Not a gusher, but pours very foamy. Doesn't have any crap in it, but just when you pour it, you get sort of that much foam. You've got to really take your time pouring it to get a decent glass full. So not ideal. So hence why I'm going to try and go down the bottling from keg, just to try and make things a little bit more uniform and regular. So yes, that's pretty much what my rest of the year is looking like, experimenting with the bottling side of things and doing cask beer. And obviously trying to develop this red ale recipe, which is going to be a sort of murky brown beer by the sounds of it, but I don't know. Yes. Anyway. Yes. I'm going to leave it there because I'm fed up now. I'm going to go finish this beer, watch a bit of television, and then go to bed. Sounds like a plan to me. Right, cheerio then. Bye bye.